So there's quite a few SCP mods inside of Garry's mod, and I figured we would be taking a look at them today, and I'd be listing my favorite top 10 SCP mods in Garry's mod. Just a disclaimer, this is my list, and if you guys do disagree, please let me know what you would have rather had the list at down in the comments. And also, this is a top 10 of the mods in Garry's mod, and not the actual SCPs themselves, but just how they're represented in the game, and with how well they work in the game, and all the features that they have as well. Alright, so starting number 10, we have SCP-1346. Now this is a very interesting one because I feel like not a lot of people know about this particular SCP, and that's because it's not a very popular one, and in Garry's mod, it's not too spectacular because really all you're going to be doing is going down a hallway. There is some cool effects like the lights turning off and then you not being able to use your flashlight. There's also a few images that pop up here or there, and it's all in all pretty creepy, but the thing that really solidifies it in this position is the fact that it really is short. It's not long at all. It's not a whole lot of fun to play through, but it is a fun little map to just kind of play around with, so I had to put it at number 10. Alright, next up we have SCP-432 at spot number 9, and this one is similar to the number 10 spot, and the reason why is because you're going through these corridors. This one's a bit more complex, which is why I put it at number 9. You're pretty much going through this maze, and then eventually you come to a conclusion that the entrance can actually move. But of course, besides some creepy sounds in the atmosphere, there's not really a whole lot to this SCP, which is why I put it at number 9. There is quite a few paths that you can go down, but honestly in the end, there's not really a whole lot to this, and again is why it is number 9. Up next, we have SCP-106 at number 8, and this is interesting because 106 is a very beloved SCP in the community. A lot of people do love this one. He's a pretty popular one too, but the reason why he is in this spot is because, well, in Garry's mod in particular, he's not super amazing. He does go through walls like you'd imagine, but with the version that I used in my video showcase, he's not super amazing, and there is a newer version of him which I have not tried yet, but this is about the one that I've done a video on already, and he pretty much just walks through walls. He just kind of sits there. If he hits you, you die. But because of this, and just because of the popularity of 106, I decided I'd put it up a little bit higher because honestly this would have been my number 10 if it weren't for the shorter, similar maps that we just took a look at. But this is a pretty cool NPC to just kind of have chasing you around the map, especially when you play on an SCP Foundation map. It's really creepy to find out the areas he can sneak through and not knowing where he could be coming from. So because of this, I put him at number 8. Coming up to number 7, we have SCP-513. Now this SCP is a little bit interesting because it starts out as just a cowbell, and that's what I love about this, is it really captures the essence of what this SCP is all about. You spawn this cowbell, you just ring it, and well, you're gonna be tormented for the rest of your life. Everywhere you go, this weird entity will always be within the corner of your eye, pretty much stalking you. And this is represented by some weird kind of JPEG that follows you around in the map, and when you look at it, it disappears. And I think the way that they represent it in Garry's mod is really good. But of course, besides this, there's not a whole lot past this. It is mainly just to creep you out, which it does achieve. It's a very well crafted mod, but it's honestly limited to what 513 can really do in essence. And because of this, it's not super feature packed, but it's still a really good mod, so I decided I would put it at number 7. Up next to number 6, we have SCP-049. A huge fan favorite. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is probably everyone's either second or most favorite SCP because of just how cool the character looks. So this is based on a plague doctor, and what he does is he tries to hunt people down to convert them onto his own. And there's a whole lot to this, and it's a really cool SCP. But in Garry's mod, the way that this is represented is he's an SCP, or just an NPC in this matter, and he chases you down, which is creepy enough, especially because he's going through all these corridors, and just having him hunt you down, especially on an SCP map, it could be very creepy very quickly, but when he gets to you, he just kind of kills you. So not really a whole lot going on there, but he does have quite a bit of dialogue, and that does add to the depth of this SCP in Garry's mod. Now there is a newer version, just like with 106, but I have not taken a look at this one yet, and unfortunately the one I did a showcase on is the one I'm basing this top spot on, and because of this, it is number 6. Up next, we have SCP-002, and this is in the number 5 spot. Now, I honestly loved this map. It was such a cool experience the first time I played it. Pretty much what this SCP is it's a giant sphere or a room, and when you go into it, you pretty much get trapped, at least in Garry's mod, and it converts your body into furniture or whatever matter is put into it. And this is pretty cool because you'll go into it, you'll die, you'll respawn, go back in, and you'll notice some new type of furniture will be there, and it'll be made out of the materials that was made from your body. So very creepy SCP. The eerie factor and the creativity behind this SCP really is what makes it shine, and the fact that it's represented perfectly in Garry's mod, with a bunch of cool little scripted events, with the fact that you die, a new furniture event happens, you keep doing it, and honestly I found myself constantly going in, dying, and seeing what new furniture would be created. So a very cool SCP. So now we go on to number 4, and this one was an SCP I did recently, and this is 1030RU, which stands for Russia, or Russian obviously. Now this is more of the Russian SCP Foundation type of deal, but I figured I'd put it in here because I did do a showcase on it. It is in Garry's mod. It's a lot different than the regular 1030 in the English version, but this one is pretty awesome in Garry's mod. The reason why is because you have so many different rooms to go through. There's so many different events, so many different hallways, and the environments change too. And because of this, I found myself honestly having to cram all this map into one video within 10 to 15 minutes, because usually these maps aren't very big or long, but this one definitely surprised me, and I was amazed with how much features that was packed into it. So because of this, I decided to put it at number 4. Alright, going along with the same trend, the whole feature packed thing, we have SCP-015 at number 3. Now this was probably the first map of the SCP maps I've played where it just made me think, wow, the possibilities of these honestly are way higher than I thought they would be. And this one is the one that set the standard. SCP-015 is pretty much an array of pipes, and I always had a fear of pipes or like industrial grade stuff. Just the thought of like a warehouse filled with pipes and other things, it gives me the creeps, and this definitely captures this. Again, with a fully featured map, tons of little areas and nooks and crannies to go through. We got some scripted events, we got some jump scares, we got some ambience. It's honestly a really well made map with a bunch of features. Same reason as the last one, but I like this one just a little bit more because the first time I played this, it honestly was the one that set this standard in the first place. So I'm gonna give the number 3 spot to 015, and now we get close to closing this up with SCP-173 at number 2, probably the most well-known SCP by a landslide. I don't know if that's the case now, but that's how it usually is, because this is a very popular SCP. Pretty much what happens is it's the basic Weeping Angel deal. You turn around, SCP-173 comes after you. You turn around to face him, and he stops. Or I guess you could say he's kind of like a boo ghost as well. Pretty much it's the whole, if you look at me, I won't move, but if you look away, I'm going to be haunting you and slowly getting closer. Now, the way that this works is he seems to just disappear, and then you turn around and then he's there. It's not like he's slowly walking or anything. He seems to keep reappearing and disappearing, slowly getting closer as he makes his way to you, the longer your back is turned. Now, the reason why I put it at such a high spot, because yes, it's a very basic SCP. There's not really a whole lot going on, but he's a fan favorite. I love him, honestly. I love how he looks. This was the first SCP I ever had any experience with, and the first mod I ever did a showcase on with the SCPs, I believe. So I had to put it at number 2 just because I loved the basic nature of it. Alright guys, and now we close this off with number 1. You probably know what it is. It is SCP-096. Oh yes. If you guys remember, 096 is pretty much a next bot, and you'll walk up to him, you know, he'll just be sitting there, nothing crazy happens, and he'll come alive and he'll chase you relentlessly no matter where you go. In fact, I've even tried hiding behind doors. Yeah, he'll just bust the whole door down, so that really doesn't help. And when I first experienced this, the true terror of knowing that I could never escape this creature, it honestly left me so terrified. And to this day, it's one of the scariest and creepiest SCPs I've ever laid my eyes on, and it works especially well in the maze. So in his bio, he seems like an interesting SCP, but in Gmod, he really does shine. I think this is the perfect representation of how he works. They even call him the Shy Guy, because if you look at him, that's when he gets enormously ticked off, and that's when he hunts you forever until you are dead. And that's perfectly represented in Garry's mod. And I think this is what makes him my favorite, just because of my experience with him and the way he works. But that is going to conclude my list, guys. Let me know what you thought of this list. If you did like it, please let me know by leaving a like down below and or subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. And please let me know what you want me to do a top 10 list on next, because I love doing these. If you guys do have a suggestion for something, please let me know down in the comments. Check out all my links in the description. I'll have them all there for you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, farewell.